Here we go. A veteran eco-campaigner has dismissed the tactics used by Just Stop Oil protesters. Swampy, whose real name is Daniel Hooper, says despite the protesters who disrupt traffic or sporting events being brave and passionate, he thinks that real change will come from working with people from different walks of life. It comes as Just Stop Oil disrupted some of Keir Starmer's speeches in Kent, asking him to reinstate a pledge for £28 billion of annual climate funding. He responded, telling protesters to just stop. I believe that might have actually been another group, to be fair, but there was Just Stop Oil as well that we've seen, of course, at the cricket, etc., and at the tennis. They've been everywhere, Just Stop Oil, haven't they? Well, look, to discuss this now is Sean Irish from Just Stop Oil and Professor Rupert Reed from the Climate Majority Project. Both of you, thank you very, very much. So I'll go to you first, Professor Rupert, if that's all right. So am I right in saying that you think that Just Stop Oil should just stop?
Well, not really, Patrick. The point that we are making, firstly, in the Climate Majority Project, is that the objective that we have is all basically the same, right? Most ordinary people, most real people now recognise quite fully that we have to get off our addiction to oil, that we should stop drilling new oil, and that we should transition to an economy which won't destroy our children's futures. There is a disagreement of some degree, of course, about tactics. So what we in the Climate Majority Project are here for is for all those people who do not want to engage with the kind of tactics that Just Stop Oil employ. The objective is essentially the same. The question is how we're going to get there. And what we encourage people to do is to engage in action in their communities, in their workplaces, in their professions, within the law, to move in the right direction in the chronic absence of sufficient leadership from the government.
OK, right, so, Sean, I'll throw that back over to you. I mean, there was some pretty staunch criticism elsewhere as well. Does it bother you that, you know, people like Swampy, I can only imagine, is an icon, don't agree with what you're doing?
I mean, I have been in a tunnel thanks to the help of Swampy, but that's besides the point. Yeah, we are...
We don't talk about the national television stuff.
No, of course we're not. Like, Swampy hasn't actually come out and opposed what Just Stop Oil has said. That is, you know, that's a misrepresentation of what Swampy's saying. What Swampy is saying and what Rupert is saying, and they're both absolutely correct, is that we need the majority to be on side. We need action that's going to come with, you know, cooperation. And of course, you know, groups like the Climate Majority can offer that to people, but you also need the radical flank. Just Stop Oil is the wedge that brings the conversation into the stratosphere. People would ignore us if we didn't take these actions.
Well, will they? And I'm going to throw that over to you then, Rupert. Is Sean the necessary radical flank?
It's a really interesting question. I think the place to start here is back in 2019 with Extinction Rebellion. And I think it's very clear that Extinction Rebellion really opened up the space. And whatever anyone thinks of Extinction Rebellion, you can't deny that they really did get these issues into the public consciousness in a big way. And that is a very important thing to do. Of course, the issue here also rebounds back onto the media. It's a question of what the media pays attention to. Our view in the Climate Majority Project is that it would be a really good thing if the media paid more attention to the kind of slower, patient work that people like us are trying to do in communities, in neighbourhoods, in professions, etc. So, for example, I'm talking to you from the border of Norfolk and Suffolk at a pub which is community-owned, which is socially owned, which is very close to an area of land which is farmed by a group of people together who are creating resilience against the climate-damaged future that is coming.
So
these kinds of projects are springing up all over the country, and we support them in the Climate Majority Project. We actively support them. It's called Community Climate Action. What we need is for this kind of thing to be scaled up and to be supported much more. And it would be a really good thing if the media were to give us attention.
If you were to talk about that. I understand that. With respect, just for time pressures, you have now spoken a little bit about that. Sean, I mean, he has got a point, hasn't he? Because, you know, basically, the only times that, you know, people like me talk at you, really, is when someone's covered you in milk or thrown water off a balcony and, you know, maybe someone's got very angry in the streets. And frankly, people hate you.
Well, I think Rupert did raise an excellent point, actually. The media is failing us astronomically. You only talk about the climate crisis when we throw orange paint or when someone throws milk at us. If you brought on climate scientists onto your show, if you went to people like Rupert and, you know, went to these community-based places and actually highlighted these, the need for Just Stop Oil could disappear overnight. If the government did what it needed to do and ended new oil and gas licences, we would not be on the street. Unfortunately, action is needed.
Isn't it, Sean? It's a campaign, Sean, and part of a campaign means that you have to bring the public with you. And I dare say that you've managed to alienate pretty much everybody, from the white van man right through to the kind of middle upper class person who goes to the opera, Sean.
Can you tell me who we've convinced that they will just lie down for an oil baron's profits and die because they dislike us that much? How many people are going to let their children starve to death because they don't like what we're doing? And a man in an orange high vest got in someone's way, and now I'm going to let my children die. You know, no one is thinking that. That you might not like Just Stop Oil. I don't like what we do. It's, you know, it shouldn't be necessary, but it is not making people think, yeah, you know what, I'll let my children die. Let the oil barons have all their profits just to spite them. No one's saying that. They might not like us, but they want the same thing.
OK, I'll throw it over to you, Rupert. Hey, some people might just say, you know what, Rupert, if you had a bit of bottle about you, you wouldn't be sending young, impressionable adults and, in some cases, dare I say it, children to go and do the dirty work of the climate agenda. You know, put your money where your mouth is. I don't know, maybe you do have a criminal record. You don't have to disclose it. Why don't you get a criminal record for your cause? Come on.
So, look, I was in Extinction Rebellion before, and I did undertake criminal damage, of which I'm very proud, for the sake of throwing the spotlight onto the climate change deniers of the Global Warming Policy Foundation. But now I've changed tack, and what we're trying to do in the Climate Majority Project is to appeal to all the people who don't want to undertake the kind of things that Just Stop Oil do, but who are concerned, as Sean absolutely rightly says, that our children's lives are now on the line. We had the hottest day in history on Tuesday. We had the second hottest day in history on Monday. Everyone can see that the climate is changing, that it is damaging us and damaging our future. It's going to get worse for a long time to come. What is absolutely critical is that everyone who cares about this issue, and a majority do care, that in one way or another, you get involved. So I'd urge people, for example, to go to climatemajorityproject.com and you can start to get involved there.
All right. OK, look, I'm just going to finish, Sean, if that's right. I always ask Just Stop All this, and I get a variety of different answers. Would you bring children into the world, Sean, or do you think that's a bad thing right now?
Well, I've tried for a long time to get my boyfriend pregnant, but haven't succeeded yet.
Do you think that people should be reproducing, Sean?
I don't think that's a decision for me to make. I can neither get pregnant, nor do I intend to get anyone else pregnant. So that would be a decision that would be among those people to make.
That is the thing that I speak to a lot of people from Just Stop All about, and quite a few of them say, look, we shouldn't be having any more kids.
I think there's possibility of hope. I think people need to take action on the climate crisis. They can join us and get a criminal record, or they can go plant some fruit with Rupert. But either way, they need to do something.
OK, and good luck with your boyfriend, by the way. Right, OK, that's Sean Irish there from Just Stop Oil and Professor Rupert Reed from the Climate Majority Project. Good stuff, I enjoyed that. Right, OK, now, Donald Tusk.